And welcome. We begin with breaking news this evening. The Tyler ISD School Board has just announced that they have voted unanimously to change the name of both high schools, Robert E. Lee and John Tyler. Let's show you the video.
This is one family right here that saw this damage. Brennan, go ahead and show them what's going on over here. This entire tree, this tree's uprooted from the ground here. Casey, that's right, and the reason why is because about a couple of hundred yards from where I'm standing, to give you folks at home a geographical sense of what part of the coast we're on, we're at the Texas City levee. You see the water behind me, and you see it picking up. It's starting to crash into the coast here, and the wind speeds are starting to pick up. To get to the Democratic presidential race, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden believe that they can win Texas over Donald Trump. In fact, Bernie Sanders tweeting that out.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, it is scary.
Maggie, I have, and he's an expert in this area. Where we're at exactly is the dike, and it's a well-known fishing area, and it's a popular attraction for people, of tourists and the locals. And speaking of locals, I have Rigo Rios here. Rigo, you said you've lived here for 11 years.
Yes, sir. 11 years I lived here.
And you go fishing out here all the time. What does the scene look like right now? Is this typical what it looks like, or what is the activity here?
No, usually it's more.
But a lot of the folks decided they were going to weather the storm. You have to remember that they've been through Ike, they've been through Andrew, they've been through Rita, so they've been through Harvey. And a lot of these cities just said it's very similar to the folks here in East Texas when they see a tornado. When we have a tornado, it happens all the time. Those folks there, they're ready to weather the storm, and it was going to have to take, a lot of people said it was going to have to take a big wave to push them out of their hometown. Welcome back. Fox 51 News, your local election headquarters. Senator Kamala Harris called herself incredibly honored to be tapped as Joe Biden's running mate.
We found this dog, Bella, and she had just had a litter of puppies. She had 4 puppies, and when we got here, Byron, we only had found 2, and you and I were able to track down the other 2.
And now let's dive into a topic of conversation with some folks who are all too familiar with the name Robert E. Lee and John Tyler. I have 2 guests with me tonight. Those were great pictures. Can I get a copy of those?
You know, it's like I do this for a living or something.
Marcus and I work out at night.
You do.
That's what we were planning on doing. So luckily we had changed into our workout clothes.
That's right, Neil, and they tell me that they feel safe despite what you're seeing around me. The wind speed's picking up, the sun is coming down, but just over my shoulder, right in front of the water, you can see that the waves are starting to crash in, and the wind is almost it's pretty powerful that we've actually had to weigh down the camera that we're using to talk to you. And when asked by reporters about the expectations for his first season as the new face of the Dallas Cowboys franchise, McCarthy quickly responded and wittingly responded. He said, "This is the Dallas Cowboys. It's perfect or it's nothing." And I think that's what the fan base has been looking for.
Twitter and the FBI are now investigating how some high-profile politicians and celebrities had their accounts hacked, and that's not the only concern. Not impacting just the U.S. Leaders around the world wishing President Trump and his wife Melania a speedy recovery. We're going to get right into this. Governor, 8 county Republican chairmen have now voted to censor you, and that includes Henderson County here in East Texas this weekend. They say they're upset at your mask mandate and because you didn't call a special session of that legislature to deal with the coronavirus. I want to ask you, how do you feel about folks' lack of confidence in you? Thanks for staying with us. Republicans met behind closed doors today as the party's grappling with 2 very distinctive wings. Those who want to put President Trump in the past and those who continue to stand with him. I'm Trent Bennett. Thanks for stopping by today. And to a developing story this afternoon is where we'll start here at 4. 5 people are hurt after a shooting at a healthcare clinic up in Minnesota. Officials say there's 1 person currently in custody. You see the aerial footage there.
Now, the problem lies inside of this culvert that I'm standing in. It was built back in the 1940s, and you can see this water has nowhere to drain to. So it ultimately just ends up on Doyle's property. Let me show you how you can check. You're going to come to your driver's side window. There's a 17-digit number there. You're going to take those 17 digits, you're going to plug it into the NHTSA website, and that website is going to tell you if there's anything on your car that needs to be fixed. And they got back up on the truck to go to the next house that they looked back and saw that something wasn't. There wasn't a whole lot that the city would say on camera. They did hand me this contract, and they said that they've decided to take the future of the bait shop in a different direction. And at first, things were going shaky. But now, you might say, they're going swimmingly.
I used to see everybody on the news and had a tornado.
You never thought it would be you?
Never.
For Sandra Verdell and her husband Byron, it would happen to them, and it would destroy the place they've called home for 18 years.
I was just doing like this, and I just covered up. And I was praying, and then a big board back there in the backyard like shielded me.
I heard my husband jump on a trailer, and he was like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm buried up under all this stuff."
And while Sandra was searching for her husband, their 10-year-old terrier Bella was sniffing out her own search for the tiniest members of their family. You see 2 of her puppies there, but that meant 2 others were still missing.
So I got to try to go over here and try to rumble through this stuff.
And we helped them. This moment, the search came to an end.
Everybody's counted for.
Everybody counted for. We didn't lose nobody.
Before 1:30 this afternoon, what I'm standing on was the Verdell residence, and what you're seeing right here was the front door to their home that they had lived in for 18 years. After the storm, their belongings and keepsakes submerged in a swamp.
It is what it is. Can't stop God's work, so just got to take the bitter with the sweet.
But this family's resilience is shining through and will continue as they rebuild from rubble.
So my name is Jennifer Gonzalez, and I'm a dental hygiene student at Tyler Junior College.
And on Saturday, she was in her room studying for her final exams when a tornado would touch down.
And yeah, that's when it all started.
A moment when the Gonzalez family home would turn to a crumble. 2 decades of memories would be nothing more than a reflection of the past.
Kind of sad because there's so many memories just all over from this house.
It's been the place that Jenny and her older sister Natividad were raised in.
Tears comes to your eyes because you're like, everything is destroyed.
And just a quarter mile up the road. A similar story, as you can see right here, for the Skinner family who have lived in this home since the 80s.
Have you ever seen anything like this in your 87 years of life?
No,
What was it like?
it was rough.
For both the Gonzalez and the Skinner family, they walked away without injuries.
I mean, that's a blessing to me, and it come from God.
We started yesterday cleaning everything, and we're here now.
As a family, standing even after the storm. A lot of people go to the park to see a duck.
Yeah.
For Evan Jackson, he just goes to his patio.
Feather Locklear.
That's the duck's name.
Just came out of left field and just kind of ran with it.
When he says came out of left field, he means finding these 2 eggs one day sitting outside his door.
And the next day, a 3rd egg. The next day, a 4th, and we're up to 12 now.
This bond between bird and man started about a month ago with coronavirus quarantine and social distancing. And at first, things were going shaky. But now, you might say, they're going swimmingly.
She was timid, she was shy, I could tell didn't want me to get close.
Each day she does whatever ducks do, and by sundown, flapping feathers and all, she's back on the balcony.
Now at this point, she eats from my hand, she flies up to me. So.
You go.
He's calling the entire process Duck Watch 2020, documenting from day one until now.
It's been very positive. People say that it's given them a reason to get on social media. It's not fear-mongering or stuff about the virus. It's just a different change of pace and letting people know that there's still a life going on.
With comments popping up on his Facebook page like this.
I'm so glad you're posting these updates.
This has been the best part of my day. Thank you.
I feel like this is what the people need. LOL, this is incredible.
This is the most inspiring piece of 2020.
I feed her, I give her water, and I didn't know how she would take to that. I didn't know if she would maybe abandon the eggs and not come back, but she's taken well to it. I don't know, I think we kind of needed each other through all of this stuff.
Evan says when the eggs hatch, Feather may decide to waddle away.
She's still a free duck, and her and the ducklings will probably go after they've hatched.
But for now, while all this lasts, it's been the best type of quarantine. Trent Bennett, KETK News.